CQ, CQ, calling all radio amateurs and listeners. This is Golf Bravo 2 Romeo Sierra, the news broadcasting service of the Radio Society of Great Britain. This broadcast comes to you from amateur radio station Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta in Meppershall, Bedfordshire. Welcome and thanks for joining us. It's Sunday the 1st of December and here is the GB2RS news broadcast, which was prepared for you by the RSGB for all radio amateurs and listeners. You can also find this news bulletin on our website at rsgb.org, and there you'll also find links to groups and organisations that we may mention in this broadcast. This week's news headlines: an invitation for you to join the final 2024 RSGB Tonight at 8 live webinar. We have news of an update on our strategic priority of spectrum and licensing. And our HF Contest Committee announces changes to contests in 2025. We'll have more on those items a little later, but first the RSGB Tonight at 8 webinar of 2024, or the last one, is being broadcast tomorrow, Monday the 2nd of December. Join Tim Hire, Golf 5 Tango Mike, for a talk on the various HF antennas available for portable operating. He'll also discuss how to use very basic modelling software to help you make the choices at your disposal. Tim will look at topics ranging from balancing the convenience of multi-band systems with some trade-off in performance to looking at using 40 metres portable. He'll also look at how to power your station and the advantages of operating HF portable. Tim is our Radcom Basics editor, so he'll also highlight content in that publication that viewers will find helpful. You can watch the webinar live on the RSGB YouTube channel or the special BATC channel, and you can also ask questions via the live chat. And to find out more, go to our website at rsgb.org/webinars. We've taken the next steps to support our strategic focus on spectrum and licensing. We're now formally engaged on work for the 2027 and 2031 ITU World Radio Communication Conferences, and we've introduced a new special focus page on WRC 27 and WRC 31, which you can find on our webpage at rsgb.org/WRC-27. This page includes topics such as 6G telecoms and satellites, wireless power, space weather and lunar communications. And supporting a new WRC 31 opportunity, we're also grateful to Chris Whitmarsh, Golf 0 Foxtrot Delta Zulu, and Roger Ray, Golf 8 Charlie Uniform Bravo, for a great overview of amateur innovation above 275 GHz. And you can read this on our website at rsgb.org/terahertz, and that's spelled Tango Echo Romeo Alpha Hotel Echo Romeo Tango Zulu. Our HF Contests Committee has announced some changes to our HF contests for 2025. These cover the FT4 series, the 1.8 MHz contests, the Commonwealth contest, field day registration and also self-spotting. And for full details you can go to our website, have a look at rsgbcc.org/HF. That's Hotel Foxtrot. Youngsters on the Air Month begins today, and Marlborough Scout Group will be the first team of youngsters to operate. They're on the air up until midday today and then again after 6 p.m. And also operating today will be the Cambridge University Wireless Society, and they're hosting the call sign Golf Bravo 24 Yankee Oscar Tango Alpha, and they'll be doing that between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. That's noon and 6 p.m. Listen out for the group again on Friday the 6th and Saturday the 7th of December. And other operators this week include Wick High School Radio Club. They'll be active on Monday. And the RSGB National Radio Centre's GB2RS station on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday we'll have Sandringham School, and on Friday Thurso Scouts. And to find out more, go to qrz.com, and once you're there, pop the following call sign in the search box. Use Golf Bravo 24 Yankee Oscar Tango Alpha, and then you'll be able to see the full schedule of operating times. And if you'd like to host the call sign, you've still got time. All you need to do is visit rsgb.org/Yankee Oscar Tango Alpha -month, and there you can find out more. And once you've made your choice, you can email Jamie, Mike 0 Sierra Delta Victor. His email address is YOTA, that's Yankee Oscar Tango Alpha .month, that's Mike Oscar November Tango Hotel, at rsgb.org. Now, a reminder that if you want to take an exam online at home, the last day you can do that is Friday the 20th of December. Exams will resume on Monday the 6th of January, and the booking system will be available over the festive season, so you can book exams for January onwards. And to do that, book online on our website at rsgb.org/exam pay, and I'll spell that. That's Echo X-ray Alpha Mike Papa Alpha Yankee, all one word, exam pay. The next in the series of 145 Alive events will take place on Sunday the 26th of January. The organisers are looking for volunteers or volunteer net controllers to help cover as many Maidenhead squares in the UK as possible. Whether you've been a net controller before or not, the team would love to hear from you. Find out more about the events by visiting the 145 Alive Facebook group, and to volunteer, send your intended individual, group or club call sign and your intended location and Maidenhead Square to Masonville. I'll spell that. That's Mike Alpha Sierra Echo November Victor India Lima Lima Echo, all one word, Masonville at gmail.com. The weekly shortwave broadcast from the Deutsche Amateur Radio Club, or DARC as it's also known, will be aired from Wooferton in England for the first time from January 2025. The broadcast will be made from an existing BBC broadcasting complex that's operated by the subsidiary company Encompass Media, where there's a total of 10 transmitters and just as many antennas. The station in Austria that's currently used by the club is ceasing its shortwave operations at the end of December this year, and thanks to successful negotiations, the first programme will be broadcast from Wooferton on Sunday the 5th of January on the previously used frequency of 9670 kHz. And you can find full details of how to access Radio DARC on the club's website, and their web address is, and I'll spell this phonetically, it's Delta Alpha Romeo Charlie Delta Echo. Now, a reminder to please send details of all your news and events to radcom@rsgb.org.uk. The deadline for submissions is 10 a.m. on the Thursday prior to the Sunday broadcasts each week. Well, now we have details of rallies and events. The Wiltshire Winter Rally is on today, Sunday the 1st of December, and that's being held at Kington Langley Village Hall in Kington Langley, which is just off junction 17 of the M4. Doors open at 9 a.m. and close at 1 p.m. Admission is £3. Indoor tables are £10. Car boot pitches are £10 for a car-sized pitch and £15 for a van-sized pitch. Hot and cold refreshments are available on site, and for more information you can email chairman@chippenhamradio, that's all one word, chippenhamradio.club. The Mid Devon Amateur Radio and Electronics Fair is on Sunday the 8th of December at Winkley Sports and Recreation Centre. Doors will open from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Entry is £3 per person, and there's no charge for partners or under 16s. There'll be free car parking and Wi-Fi, as well as hot food and refreshments. Now, the cost for traders is £5 for a 6-foot frontage with tables supplied. We do advise that you book in advance though, and if you need mains electricity, that's also available. Just let us know. Traders are asked to pre-book as soon as possible. Please contact Phil, Golf 6 Delta Lima Juliet. Phil's phone number is 07990 563 147, or you can email him, and I'll spell the email address. It's Whiskey Romeo Golf 2024 at hotmail.com. The Sparkford Radio Rally is on Sunday the 29th of December. That's being held at Davis Hall. That's in Howell Hill, West Camel near Yeovil. And doors will open to traders from 7:30 a.m. and for visitors, doors open at 9:30. Admission is £2 and there'll be refreshments and free car parking available. For more information, you can contact Luke. Luke's phone number is 07870 168 197, or you can email Mike3 Victor Hotel Victor at hotmail.co.uk. And now we have the special event news. Ian Astley, Mike 0 India Alpha Alpha, will operate as Golf Bravo 1 Whiskey Hotel on Wednesday the 11th of December. The special event station is being run to support and promote the excellent work done by Wakefield Hospice. And to make a donation to the hospice or to hear more about Ian, visit qrz.com and enter the call sign Golf Bravo 1 Whiskey Hotel. The Humber Fortress DX Amateur Radio Club will once again run the special call sign Golf Bravo 0 Mike Charlie between the 1st and 26th of December. The MC, or Mike Charlie, in the call sign stands for Merry Christmas, and the club would like to invite everyone to call in and give them a hearty ho 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 and tell them what radio equipment you'd like from Santa this year. The club will also have a live stream on its YouTube channel. Oscar Romeo 100 Lima Golf Echo is the special call sign being used by members of the Liège Radio Club. Their normal call sign is Oscar November 5 Victor Lima, and they're celebrating their 100th anniversary. The station is active until the end of the year on 160 to 6 meters using Morse code, SSB, FT8 and FT4. You can QSL via Logbook of the World, EQSL, or direct via Oscar November 6 Yankee Hotel, and contacts will also be uploaded to Club Log. Well, now we move across to the DX news. The 9 Lima 5 Alpha team, which is part of the Foxtrot 6 Kilo Oscar Papa Club, is active from Sierra Leone until the 8th of December. Members will operate on the 160 to 6 meter bands, as well as the QO 100 satellite. You can QSL via Foxtrot 5 Golf Sierra Juliet, also Logbook of the World or Club Logs OQRS. The Alpha 35 Golf Charlie team is active from Tonga. They're active until the 6th of December. The IOTA reference is Oscar Charlie 049, and they're operating on the 160 to 6 meter bands using Morse code SSB, FT4, FT8 and RTTY. You can QSL via Lima Zulu 1 Golf Charlie, Logbook of the World or Club Log OQRS. The Tango Oscar 9 Whiskey team is active again from St. Martin Island until the 13th of December. The IOTA reference is November Alpha 105, and they're operating on the 160 to 10 meter bands with a focus on 40, 80 and 160 meters. You can QSL via Whiskey 9 India Lima Yankee, Logbook of the World or Club Logs OQRS. Now we have the contest news. The UK 6 metre group winter marathon started at 0000 UTC today and ends at 23:59 UTC on Friday the 31st of January 2025. Using all modes on the 6 metre band, the exchange is signal report and locator. On Tuesday the 3rd of December, the RSGB's 144 MHz FM activity contest will run from 1900 to 1955 UTC. Using FM on the 2 meter band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. Also on Tuesday the 3rd, the RSGB 144 MHz UK activity contest will run from 2000 to 2230 UTC. Using all modes on the 2 meter band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. On Wednesday the 4th of December, the RSGB's 144 MHz FT8 activity 4-hour contest will run from 1700 to 2100 UTC. Using FT8 on the 2 meter band, the exchange is report and 4-character locator. And also on Wednesday the 4th, it's the RSGB 144 MHz FT8 activity 2-hour contest. That runs from 1900 to 2100 UTC. Using FT8 on the 2 meter band, the exchange is report and 4-character locator. And if you entered the 4-hour contest, you can also enter the 2-hour contest. The ARRL 160 meter contest starts at 2200 UTC on Friday the 6th of December and ends at 1600 UTC on Sunday the 7th. Using Morse code on the 160 meter band, the exchange is signal report for UK stations, and US and Canadian stations will also send their ARRL or RAC section number. On Sunday the 8th of December, the RSGB's 144 MHz AFS contest runs from 1000 to 1400 UTC. Using all modes on the 2 meter band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. And now we have the radio propagation HF report. This was compiled by Golf 0 Kilo Yankee Alpha, Golf 3 Yankee Lima Alpha and Golf 4 Bravo Alpha Oscar on Thursday the 28th of November. Last weekend's CQ Worldwide CW contest showed us just how good HF propagation can be near sunspot maximum. The whole world was workable up to 10 meters, including the Far East, Australasia, the Caribbean and South America, and it was a great opportunity to increase your DXCC total and have fun at the same time. This week's solar flux index peaked at 225 as the report was being prepared. Geomagnetic conditions have been surprisingly good over the past 7 days, with a peak KP index of 3.67 on the 24th of November. There have been no X-class solar flares, but there were 13 M-class and 54 minor C-class flares over the past 7 days. And there have been coronal mass ejections, notably on the 25th of November, but they have not been directed towards the Earth as of the 28th. So HF conditions have been pretty good. We're now entering the winter period for HF propagation, and that tends to favour the low bands. So 160 metres, 80 metres and 40 metres come into their own, and nighttime DXing becomes the norm. Look for grey line openings to the west at sunrise on 80 metres and 160 metres, and also short but good openings on 40 metres in the late afternoon. Nighttime may bring good DX on 80 metres and 40 metres, including the Caribbean and South America. NOAA predicts that the solar flux index will remain in the low 200s next week, and while geomagnetic conditions are forecast to be good at first, the KP index may rise to 4 on the 4th to the 6th of December, and that could reduce the maximum usable frequency until the KP index recovers. And now for the VHF and up propagation news, and this was compiled by Golf 3 Yankee Lima Alpha and Golf 4 Bravo Alpha Oscar. The unsettled theme continues through most of next week or two. The only signs of slightly enhanced prospects for Tropo are as we close this week, and even that is restricted to some eastern areas for paths across the North Sea. A second option may temporarily appear around the middle of the coming week as a weak high crosses southern areas, but this one looks to be a cold high and probably not so good for Tropo. The meteor scatter prospects are helped by the tail end of the Leonids, which fade away by the weekend, and the Orionids, which peaked on Thursday the 28th of November, but which should last through the coming week. The unsettled weather should offer some useful gigahertz bands rain or snow scatter, with several active weather systems around. This early in the winter, it's a great time for strong shower activity, which is generally caused by the still relatively warm seas. The auroral prospects are worth checking. Look for watery sounding signals on the LF bands, which is a good clue, along with a KP index above 4. Early last week we had some fleeting signs of sporadic E on the Daub ionoson graphs, which you can find on propquest.co.uk. This occurs typically around the middle of the day, and it was probably driven by the very strong jet stream and the current meteor activity. The moon's declination is negative and will reach minus 28 degrees on Monday, and we're close to eclipse today, and that's followed by 2 days of high 144 megahertz sky noise. So with path losses still high, EME or moon bounce operators should probably take the opportunity to check their antennas after last week's gale. And that's all from the propagation team this week. This is Golf Bravo 2, Romeo Sierra, the news broadcasting service of the Radio Society of Great Britain, brought to you by amateur radio station Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta in Meppershall, Bedfordshire. Well, now we bring you the local news, and details of all RSGB affiliated clubs and societies can be found on our website, including email addresses and website links where known. Just go to rsgb.org. We start off with news for the Midlands. Meetings of the Bolsover Amateur Radio Society are every other Tuesday. They start at 8 p.m. at the Bainbridge Hall in Bolsover, and the postcode is Sierra 446 Papa X-ray. Their next meeting will be on Tuesday the 3rd of December, and you can find more information and reminders for meetings on the Society's Facebook page, which is at Bolsover ARS. Bromsgrove and District Amateur Radio Club meet every Friday from 8 p.m, and they also have a regular coffee morning on Wednesdays in the club's shack from 10:30 a.m. Then on Monday and Wednesday evenings they have nets on 145.375 MHz from 7:30 p.m. The Burton Amateur Radio Club will hold slow Morse code training on 14.055 MHz on Mondays at 11 a.m. They have a club night every Wednesday at the Barley Mow from 7:30 p.m, and they also hold a very informal and open net on Thursday evenings from 8 p.m, and on Sundays from 10 p.m. around 145.575 MHz FM. Central Radio Amateur Circle has a net on 145.575 MHz from 7:30 p.m. on Tuesdays, and on Wednesdays they'll hold a club meeting via Google Meet at 7 p.m. Then on Saturdays they have a group net on 145.575 MHz at 12 p.m. And for more information you can visit their website, which I'll spell phonetically. It's Charlie Romeo Alpha Charlie Romeo Alpha Delta India Oscar.com. Cheltenham Amateur Radio Association will hold their AGM on Thursday the 12th of December, and they also have daily nets on 145.400 MHz at 8 p.m, and on Tuesday they have the net through GB3GH or GB2RS from 8 p.m. And for more information visit their website, which is golf5bravokilo.uk. Coventry Amateur Radio Society holds a club night on Tuesdays at St Bart's. The postcode is Charlie Victor 3 2 Delta Tango, and that starts at 8 p.m. Then on Fridays they have an open FM net on 145.375 MHz from 8 p.m, and on Sundays they have a Zoom meeting from 11 a.m. The Dudley and District Amateur Radio Society meet every Tuesday from 6 to 10 p.m. at the Wrighton Mill. That's on 59 Vale Street, Upper Gornal in Dudley, and the postcode is Delta Yankee 3 3 X-Ray Foxtrot. On Monday the 2nd of December, Gloucester Amateur Radio and Electronic Society will have their Christmas meal at the Toby Carvery. The Society hold an informal net every day on 145.475 MHz FM, that's at 3:30 p.m, and on Wednesday they have a net from 7:30 p.m. on 145.475 MHz. Then on Thursday there's another net at 7:30 on 145.475, moving to 80 meters SSB later on. Then on Friday there's a net on 432.220 MHz SSB from 7:30 p.m. The Kettering and District Amateur Radio Society have a breakfast meeting from 10 a.m. on Sundays, and on Tuesdays there's a club meeting from 7 p.m. And the Society's net is on Thursdays on 145.300 from 7 p.m. On Monday, Leicester Radio Society has a club and Zoom meeting at its club rooms from 7:30 p.m. And for more details, contact Sandra, Golf 0 Mike Charlie Victor, on 07930 274 044. And they have a club meeting from 10 a.m. on Thursday. And the Zoom link is available on their club website, which is Golf 3 Lima Romeo Sierra.org.uk. Lincoln Shortwave Club meet at the BSA Village Hall from 7:30 p.m. on Wednesdays and from 9 a.m. on Saturdays. On Thursday they have a net through Golf Bravo 3 Lima Sierra, or if that's busy they'll use 145.350 MHz. For more information you can visit their website, which is golf5foxtrotzulu.co.uk. On Tuesday, Loughborough and District Amateur Radio Club will have a talk on the Antarctic. That's being presented by John, Mike 0 India Uniform Bravo. And for more information on the club's activities, you can visit their website, which is radioclub, all one word, radioclub.org.uk. On Wednesday, the Malvern Hills Radio Amateurs Club have a net on 145.350 MHz FM from 8 p.m. Today, Nunsfield House Amateur Radio Group will have a talk about solar panels, and on Wednesday they'll hold a shack night and club net on 145.300 MHz from 8 p.m. On Monday, RAF Waddington Amateur Radio Club will have a club net on 145.325 MHz from 7:30 p.m, and on Friday there's a club meeting at the Pie Wipe from 8 p.m. Rugby Amateur Transmitting Society has weekday nets at 8:30 a.m. on 144.275 MHz upper sideband. They also have training and practice Morse code nets on Monday and Thursday at 4:30 p.m. on 144.275 MHz. They start out using upper sideband and then move across to Morse code. On Tuesday there's a meeting at the Borton Lee 12th Rugby Scouts Hut from 8 p.m. and on Saturday from 2 p.m. Then on Friday the Society have a net on 1913 kHz from 8 p.m. On Thursday, Salop Amateur Radio Society will have a club night, Shack on the Air, at 8 p.m. And you can find more information on their website, which is Salop Radio Society, that's all one word, .org. On Thursday, Solihull Amateur Radio Society has its club net on 2 meters from 8 p.m. and you can find more information on the club's activities on their website, which is Solihull Radio Club, all one word, .co.uk. On Sundays, South Birmingham Radio Society has activities in the attic with Bob and others. Visitors are welcome to attend the Society's coffee morning from 11 a.m. on Tuesday. And on Tuesday, South Derbyshire and Ashby Wolds Amateur Radio Group have their net on 144.225 MHz. That's SSB from 7 p.m. And on Wednesday, they'll have a club evening from 7 p.m. Then on Friday, they have a net on 70.425 MHz from 7 p.m. On Tuesday, Stafford and District Amateur Radio Society have their net on 145.375 MHz, and that's from 8 p.m. Then on Wednesday they have a club meeting, a project construction and a club net. On Friday, members will meet at the Wildwood Community Centre from 8 p.m, and the club's website for more information is Golf 3 Sierra Bravo Lima.org.uk. On Monday, Stourbridge and District Amateur Radio Society will meet at the Norton Community Centre, and they'll be on air from 8 p.m. For more information, go to their website, which is golf6oscarlima.org.uk. On Monday, Sutton Coldfield Amateur Radio Society will have an open net starting on 145.250 MHz at 7:30 p.m. On Wednesday, Telford and District Amateur Radio Society will have a 2-metre rag chew from 7:30 p.m. and a committee meeting starting at 8 p.m. on WebEx. For more information, visit their website, which is Tango Delta Alpha Romeo Sierra.org.uk. Wolverhampton Amateur Radio Society meet every Wednesday from 7:30 p.m. at the Wednesfield and Wood End British Legion. On Sundays, they have a net around 145.350 MHz from 8 p.m. and you can get more information on their website, which is wolverhamptonars, all one word, .co.uk, or at wolvesars on social media. On Tuesday, Withell Radio Club will hold an on-air night from 7:30 p.m. Well, that's all for the Midlands. We now move down to the South East and East Anglia. The Banbury Amateur Radio Society have a net most evenings on 144.5125 MHz FM. Club night is on Wednesdays at 7 p.m, and you can get more information on the club on their website, which is banburyars.co.uk. On Wednesday, Bishop Stortford Amateur Radio Society has its net from 8 p.m. on 145.5625 MHz, and the club's web address is Bravo Sierra Alpha Romeo Sierra.org. On Thursday, the Bitton DX Group has a net starting on 145.500 MHz from 7:30 p.m. On Sundays, Bracknell Amateur Radio Club have their net through Golf Bravo 3 Bravo November from 5 p.m. and through Golf Bravo 3 Alpha Lima from 5:30 p.m. On Wednesday, the club has a net on 145.375 MHz FM from 8 p.m. On Tuesdays and Saturdays, the Braintree and District Amateur Radio Society have a club net on 145.375 MHz and Zoom from 8 p.m, and everyone's welcome to join in. On Saturday the 7th of December, the Breed Stream Amateur Radio Society will have a club meeting, and for more information go to their website, which is Bravo Sierra Alpha Romeo Sierra.co.uk. The Bredhurst Receiving and Transmitting Society meet in its shack every Wednesday from 7 p.m, and they also have a net through Golf Bravo 3 Delta Alpha on Thursdays. For more information, go to their website, which is, I'll spell this phonetically, Bravo Romeo Alpha Tango Sierra Quebec Tango Hotel Oscar Romeo Golf / Bravo Romeo Alpha Tango Sierra /home page. On Wednesday, the Bromley and District Amateur Radio Society have their net starting on 145.500 MHz, and they then move to a clear frequency from 9 p.m. And for more information, their website is Bravo Delta Alpha Romeo Sierra.wordpress.com. Burnham Beeches Radio Club has its net from 10:30 a.m. on Sundays, starting on 145.500 MHz, before moving to 145.275 MHz. Then on Saturday, there'll be a net on 7.063 MHz from 4:30 p.m. The Bury St Edmunds Amateur Radio Society meet at the Rougham Tower Museum on the third Wednesday of each month. It's a small but very active club and have club nets every day of the week except Sunday. You can find details on the club's website, which is Bravo Sierra Echo Alpha Romeo Sierra.co.uk, and the club's general chat frequencies are 144.7375 MHz FM and 433.400 MHz FM. On Sundays, Chelmsford Amateur Radio Society have a Morse code net on 144.060 MHz from 8 p.m. Then on Monday they have another Morse net on 3542 kHz from 7:30 p.m, which is followed at 8:15 p.m. by Golf Bravo 2 Charlie Whiskey slow Morse transmissions on 3555 kHz. Then on Tuesday they'll have a Christmas social night, and on Thursday there'll be Morse code classes via Skype from 7 p.m. And for more information, go to the club's website, which is golf0mikewhiskeytango.org.uk. On Tuesday, the Chelsea Pensioners Radio Club have their net on 145.375 MHz from 2 p.m. On Sunday, Colchester Radio Amateurs Club has an open net on 50.225 MHz from 7 p.m. And on Monday they have an open net on 70.245 MHz from 7 p.m. Whilst on Tuesday they have open nets on 433.400 MHz at 7 p.m. and on 1.920 MHz lower sideband from 8 p.m. On Wednesday, the open net is around 145.350 MHz from 7 p.m. and on Thursday they move to HF on 3.685 MHz from 7 p.m. Then on Friday they have an open DX net that's held on 14.125 MHz with help on 145.350 MHz from 2:30 p.m. On Sundays, Coulsdon Amateur Transmitting Society have their net around 70.425 MHz from 9 p.m. and on Thursday they meet from 11 a.m. on 145.400 MHz and from 5 p.m. on 3.700 MHz. Crawley Amateur Radio Club meet from 11 a.m. on Sundays and 2 p.m. on Fridays. The club meets at Hut 18, that's on Tilgate Drive in Crawley, and the postcode is Romeo Hotel 105 Hotel Whiskey. The Cray Valley Radio Society is located at the Scout headquarters to the rear of 61 to 71 Southend Crescent in Eltham, London, and the postcode is Sierra Echo 9 to Sierra Delta. On Thursday the 5th of December they will have a Bring Along Your Favourite Antenna Tuner evening. This will be a technical and social evening to look at what ATUs are used and or which ATUs are used and preferred by members. The Society's 2 metre and 4 metre FM nets are held on 145.350 MHz on Sundays at 10 a.m. and on 70.425 MHz on Fridays at 8 p.m. Then they have a top band sideband net which moves to AM on the first Monday of each month around 1.905 MHz at 8 p.m. And for more information you can have a look on their website, which is charlievictorromeosierra.org. On Wednesdays, the Crystal Palace Radio and Electronics Club have their net on 145.525 MHz from 8 p.m. and on Saturdays the club net is on 51.550 MHz FM from 8 p.m. and the club's website is charliepapa.romeoechoCharlie.org. On Sundays, Darenth Valley Radio Society have their net on 145.475 MHz at 8 a.m. Dorking and District Radio Society has a net each day from Monday to Saturday on 144.775 MHz FM at 10 a.m. Essex Ham has a net on Monday through Golf Bravo 3 Delta Alpha from 8 p.m. with chat room and audio feed at essexham.net. On Sundays, Felixstowe and District Amateur Radio Society have a net on 145.400 MHz from 10 a.m. On Monday they'll have a cheap handhelds demo at the Shack from 6:30 p.m. and Wednesday sees a net through Golf Bravo 3 India Hotel from 7:30 p.m. On Tuesday, members of the Harlow and District Amateur Radio Society will have a technical meeting from 10 a.m. And then on Wednesday, they'll have a net on 145.425 MHz from 7:30 p.m. And on Thursday, they have a digital net on the XLX215 reflector. On Friday, the Society will meet from 8 p.m. and visitors are welcome to attend. Hastings Electronics and Radio Club holds a daily net on the Golf Bravo 3 Echo Sierra repeater from 10 a.m. They have a Morse code net on Monday nights at 8 p.m. on 144.575 MHz, and the Morse net is aimed at anyone new to Morse code or who wishes to brush up on their Morse skills, and non-members are welcome to take part. The net is then followed by general conversation. Then on Wednesdays, usually at 1 p.m, members meet up at various locations around the area for an afternoon of portable radio on both HF and VHF bands using SSB, Morse code and FM. And again, non-members are welcome to take part. The details do vary each week, so it's a good idea to visit the club's website on Wednesday mornings to see the up-to-date information of where and when they're meeting. The club's web address is hastings-electronics-radio-club.com. On Monday the 9th of December, the Hogs Back Amateur Radio Club is holding a natter night with mince pies. On Tuesday, Horndean and District Amateur Radio Club has a Morse code net at 9 a.m. around 1950 kHz, then moving to SSB at 9:30 a.m. Then there's another net on Wednesday around 1950 kHz using SSB from 7:30 p.m. For more information, you can see their website, which is Hotel Delta Alpha Romeo Charlie.co.uk. That's HDARC.co.uk. Excuse me. On Sundays, the Isle of Wight Radio Society have their net through Golf Bravo 7 Papa Oscar and Golf Bravo 7 Mike Tango from 8 p.m. They also have a net from Monday to Friday through Golf Bravo 3 India Whiskey from 6:15 a.m. On Tuesday, they take part in the Bramble net through Golf Bravo 3 India Whiskey from 7:30 p.m. And on Thursday, there's another net through GB2RS, followed by a Zoom meeting from 8 p.m. Then on Fridays, members will meet at Haylands Farm in Ryde, and foundation and intermediate licence training is available at those meetings. And the club's web address is indiaoscarwhiskeyromeosierra.org. Loughton and Epping Forest Amateur Radio Society have a net on Wednesday from 8 p.m. on Brandmeister DMR Talk Group 23511. On Thursday, they have a net from 8 p.m. on 144.725 MHz FM, and on Friday they have a Zoom meeting at 8 p.m. The Lowestoft District and Pye Amateur Radio Club have their net on Sundays on 433.575 MHz from 7 p.m. Then on Tuesday they have a net on 145.475 MHz from 7 p.m. and they have a club meeting on Thursday evenings from 7:30 p.m. And the last net of the week is on Friday. That's on 51.490 MHz at 7 p.m. The next meeting of the Maidenhead and District Amateur Radio Club will be at 8:10 p.m. on Thursday, the 5th of December. This will be a talk. The subject is Vector Network Analyzers. That's being presented by Neil, Golf 0 Sierra Victor November. They meet at the Friends Meeting House. That's on 14 West Street, Maidenhead, and the postcode for your sat-nav is Sierra Lima 6 Romeo Lima. The Martello Tower Group has a net night every Monday evening at 8 p.m. through Golf Bravo 3 Charlie Lima, and on Sundays the group has a net through Golf Bravo 3 Charlie Echo from 8 p.m. And their web address is Martello Tower Group. That's all one word, martellotowergroup.com. The Medway Amateur Receiving and Transmitting Society nets are each weekday from 9:30 a.m. on 144.650 MHz. Then on Friday, members will meet at Tunbury Hall, Catkin Close from 7:30 p.m. Mid Sussex Amateur Radio Society meet every other Friday at the Millfield Suite, Cypress Hall in Burgess Hill at 7:30 p.m. And their website, by the way, is midsussexars.org.uk. On Monday, Milton Keynes Amateur Radio Society will have a committee meeting, and on Fridays they meet via Zoom for coffee and a chat from 10:30 a.m. and their web address is Mike Kilo Alpha Romeo Sierra.org.uk. Norfolk Amateur Radio Club has a net through Golf Bravo 3 November Bravo every Monday from 7:30 p.m, followed by a Morse code net on 3.543 MHz at 8:30 p.m. On Thursday, the 12th of December, the Reading and District Amateur Radio Club will hold their annual general meeting. And for more details, contact Tom, Mike Zero Lima Tango Echo. His email address is tom@mike0limatangoecho.uk. The Shepparton District Amateur Radio Society will have a natter night and Morse practice session this coming Thursday the 5th, and everyone's welcome to attend. Then on Thursday the 12th of December they'll enjoy a mince pie evening, and they have two regular nets. The first is on Mondays on 1985 kHz lower sideband from 7 p.m, and the second is on Wednesdays through GB3PI from 8 p.m. You can find out more about the club and you can see their new forthcoming events calendar on their website, which is Sierra Alpha Delta Alpha Romeo Sierra.co.uk. On Wednesday, Southdown Amateur Radio Society will have a cafe meeting at 12:15 p.m, and this will be followed by a net through Golf Bravo 3 Zulu X-Ray from 2 p.m. Then they'll hold their monthly meeting at the Old Town Community Centre in Eastbourne on Friday the 6th of December at 8 p.m. And their club website is Sierra Alpha Romeo Sierra.club. The Stevenage and District Amateur Radio Society meet every Tuesday evening from 7:30 p.m. At the Stevenage Resource Centre. That's on Chells Way in Stevenage, and the postcode is Sierra Golf 20 Lima Tango. They have free tea, coffee and biscuits for everyone who attends. They also have a net on Friday evenings on 80 metres close to 3726 kHz. Then they have a VHF net, which is usually organised on the last Friday of each month from 8 p.m. on 145.450 MHz. The club uses the call sign Golf 3 Sierra Alpha Delta, and everyone's welcome to join in regardless of club membership. You can find you can find more information on the club's website, which is Sierra Alpha Delta Alpha Romeo Sierra.com. On Sundays, the Surrey Radio Contact Club have a net on 1.905 MHz at 9:30 a.m, and on Monday they'll have a video evening at St Paul's. That's at 7:45 p.m. Then on Tuesday they'll have a net on 51.550 MHz from 8 p.m, and on Wednesday they meet on 28.078 MHz JS8. That's from 10 a.m. Then on Thursday the net is on 70.300 MHz from 8 p.m. On Friday they have a D-Star net on 144.6125 MHz from 7:30 p.m. and an FM net on 145.350 MHz from 8 p.m. The West Kent Amateur Radio Society has regular weekly nets, and you can find details of these and other club information on their website, which is Whiskey Kilo Alpha Romeo Sierra.org.uk. Then on Monday the 9th of December the Society will have their Christmas party with Dave Golf 4 Oscar Tango Victor's quiz, with food provided by club members. On Friday the Whitton Amateur Radio Group will have a club night, and that will include HF and VHF operating. And for more information visit their website, which is Whiskey Alpha Romeo Golf.dreamhosters.co. Well, that's all for this week's GB2RS news broadcast, which was brought to you by Graham Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta in Meppershall, Bedfordshire. The news was compiled by the Radio Society of Great Britain, who represent amateur radio and radio amateurs in the UK and abroad. If you have a news item to share, then please email it to us as far in advance as possible, and we'll include it for you free of charge in the GB2RS news broadcasts, Radcom magazine and the RSGB website. Just send it to the editorial team, whose email address is radcom@rsgb.org.uk. And if your news items are time sensitive, then please send them to us by 10 a.m. on the Thursday before our news broadcasts. The RSGB will retain copyright over all material transmitted. And you can find more information about amateur radio on our website, which is rsgb.org. And you can also download the full schedule of GB2RS broadcasts from rsgb.org/GB2RS schedule. Well, we wish you 7-3 from the GB2RS news team. We hope you have a lovely Sunday and a great week ahead. And I'll be back a little later today at 3 p.m. on 5398.5 kHz, and then again at 9:30 p.m. on 1990 kHz for the national news broadcasts. This is Graham, Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta in Meppershall, Bedfordshire, now listening for any calls. Give that another call if you would. You just dipped down into the noise. I heard the last part of your call, but not the whole call. Give it one more go, please. Oh, John, very, very low in the noise today. Not your usual strong signal, unfortunately. You're about a readability 4, maybe a readability 3 on that transmission. So conditions are not wonderful at the moment. But I hope you're copying okay. I hope you're keeping well. And let's see whether the fading has taken an upturn. Back to you there, John. Golf 4 Juliet Golf from Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta.